These are the things that people use to influence you. Don't use this, but let me tell you exactly how to do it.
We set up a hidden camera experiment to see if this woman would stand up at the sound of this tone, simply because everyone else is.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Let's Talk About It. Today is a book video. We're talking about Robert Cialdini's book, Influence, amazing book, so we'll dive straight into it. And this video was a bit interesting because we did go on a bit of a tangent. It was relative tangent, and we looked at other research that also supports the kind of things that are talked about in the books. So I like this one. This one's quite entertaining and I think you'll love it too. Enjoy. The next book is Influence. Oh shit, what's the guy's name?
Robert Cialdini.
Robert Cialdini.
Yeah.
This book is more about psychology, sociology.
It's about, I would say, like psychology, but like psychology of influencing people's.
Yeah.
There's so many departments into psychology, but that one is more about how to make kind of people do what you would like them to do.
Yeah. It's quite, like, I found the book funny because the way he did it, I don't know if he was on purpose, but the way he he was like, these are the things that people use to influence you. Don't use this, but let me tell you exactly how to do it. And it's like, oh, okay, you're just writing it down like, oh, yeah.
It's true. I think he knows that's what people want in there.
Yeah, I think maybe he did it on purpose. But
you kind of want to know those tricks. And some of them make total sense.
Yeah, some of them are just fundamental things people do. And like if a group of people are doing something, most of the time you will do it as well.
You want to stand out from the group. It's
from
true.
The crowd, yeah.
It goes into human psychology.
And it explains how it's like, it goes with the history of humans, and like a lot of what we do is based on prehistoric times. You know, if you did, for example, the group thing, if you didn't do what the group was doing, then you have a chance of being shunned from the group. And during those times, you know, the tribe is the most important security you have. Yeah. So if you was shunned from the group, you're on your own. So you won't be able to get food regularly. Everything you have to do is provide for yourself. So we rely on other people's judgments because it was vital for survival. And it just talks
what about
about
this
things
example
like that.
you gave me once? Was about this book, the people standing in the room, science with chairs.
Oh yeah. I don't think it was in Influence, but it was in like another video.
Okay, I thought it was.
It's a good example actually, where they had the room and they had chairs, and I'm not sure what they're actually waiting for, but they're waiting for something. And what they did was like every minute or so a bell would ring.
We set up a hidden camera experiment to see if this woman would stand up at the sound of this tone, simply because everyone else is.
That person was hesitant the first few times.
After just 3 beeps, and without knowing why she's doing it, this woman is now conforming perfectly to the group. But what happens if we take the group away? Okay, now she's alone, the crowd is gone, and nobody is watching her. She's now conforming to the rules of the group without them even being there.
So it reaches a point where no one was in on the experiment, and yet you had like 4 people just standing up when the bell goes, and they don't know why.
We kept the cameras rolling as more unsuspecting patients arrived, and slowly but surely, what began as a random rule for this woman has now become the social norm for everyone in this waiting room.
See, look how each other's behavior, and it's how we decide our own.
And it talks about that this is highly effective when people actually don't know what to do in the situation. Mm-hmm. So maybe they were going for an interview and they thought in that situation that's what they're meant to do, kind of thing.
So they will look at what others do.
Yeah, to refer to what they should do. So that whole book is just about small things like that we do habitually.
And how also, he talks about like, commercials and how they kind of operate into with us,
Yeah.
trying to make a buy selling products.
Yeah.
And it makes a lot of sense sometimes.
It
Talks
does make a
about
lot of sense.
waiters trying to push
To get
some
more
items.
tips. Yeah.
Like they were giving good examples. I remember saying how, like, one of the waiter in the restaurant was making the most money for the restaurant, and
Yeah.
his trick was actually to go to clients, and once they would order something, he would he was talking about siding with your opponents, or
Yeah.
to make it feel like you doing things for him,
For them, yeah.
for them, because
Yeah.
you're trying to promote their interest, not yours.
Yeah,
And
showing you're on their side, basically.
what he would do is when they would order something, and he would tell them how you ordered the chicken, but like today the chicken is not as good as it usually is. Sorry. So if I were you, I would not go for that one, for example. So then people will start thinking, oh, why is he telling that? Like,
more money from...
make me change my choice.
Yeah.
And he's losing money because he make me choose a cheaper item.
Yeah.
So you do that once. So then you're thinking this guy is a good guy, right?
Yeah, he's
and
on
then
my
he does
side,
it a second time, but this time he makes you choose a more expensive item,
yeah.
way more expensive than what he made you save
Yeah.
just before. So you go for it because you're thinking, if he helped me once, you're assuming they will carry on helping you.
Yeah.
And you go for the second item, and in the end you spend more than
you would
have. Yeah.
So what did you think about that episode? I hope you liked it. Hopefully you found some interesting ideas that might have motivated you to read this book. Like, comment, subscribe.
Jonah Berger of the University of Pennsylvania.
This sort of internalized form of herd behavior is part of what we call social learning. Starting at a very early age, when we see members of our group perform a task, our brains literally reward us for following in their footsteps.
When I saw everybody stand up, I felt like I needed to join them. Otherwise, I'm like excluded. Once I decided to go with it, then I felt much more comfortable.
Conformity is how we become socialized, but it can also cause us to develop bad habits or repeat past wrongs.